Hello and welcome to the first edition of the gameplay editing of FIFA 21. Okay, so I've edited gameplay for many years for both FIFA and Paulv2k4. Mostly on FIFA since 2010, 2011. Something like that, maybe a little bit earlier when I was in university as well. I did a lot then, so it's something I've been um, well aware of, and something I've always been messing with ever since I started playing football games or any kind of games really. And it's something I just love to do. So in terms of FIFA, the ability to edit gameplay hasn't been particularly great, at least until FIFA 20, where we had a few more additions and useful impact settings we had through the Frosty editor. Before then, we only had the Locale.ini, and I think we had something called the CL.ini beforehand. I'm racking my brains before Frostbite. It must have been the CL.ini. I think there was something before that. It might have been a product one as well. Essentially, these INIs are almost like settings for the game to drive off. So you may notice in the Locale.ini, if I open it here, at the top of the whole file, the whole point of the locale is the localization of the game. And it has settings because I have the English version of the game. It has various settings to set the game up to for me because I'm using the English version. So, which is strange considering I'm British, and you'd think you'd set it up for the British settings, but actually all English settings are American as far as I know. So you can see here, this is the general settings you see in the Locale.ini. We are just attaching to that when we're editing gameplay settings. I want to show you a diagram of how much you can do with EA's FIFA. And I want to explain that you cannot reinvent the wheel. You cannot edit proper code in modding this game. This goes for other things as well, which we'll cover in different tutorials. You're mainly sort of, you've only got the sort of like the end level, or a very high level, they call it in programming terms, amount of editing. But saying that, you can alter the game quite a bit. So to demonstrate, I did this very crude little flowchart. This is my interpretation of what FIFA does. And from doing it for years, I'm pretty certain this is what it is. So you have your C++ engine code. We cannot see that in the world of modding. That is impossible to access other than doing injections or trying to hex edit the exe and things like that. We're not going to do that here. I think if you were clever enough, you probably could go further than this tutorial gets to. So let's not get bogged down there. So essentially, you've got C++ engine code, which runs the game, makes you see what you see, handles how sort of the little systems kind of fire off that. So gameplay is one of them. So when you load up a match, the gameplay engine will start, and that will have everything from the starting up the AI for each and every character, loading every character in, loading the ball in, loading the rules of the game. Obviously, you got Volta and proper 11-a-side games. So all of that is in the gameplay code side of things. So things like when you click a button on your controller, converting that into actually doing something on the game, all of that's handled in sort of gameplay code, should we say. And I went for animation drivers here, so obviously the game is very animation driven. When you press a button, it doesn't magically kick the ball straight away. It plays the animation, then kicks the ball. And that's a very intuitive and a fantastic system they built. I went to a seminar a good few years ago now, 10, 11 years ago, and they demonstrated how the system works. And seriously, guys, this is top-notch stuff for games. So as much as we like to say EA this, EA that, they have got a great system in place. It's just sometimes I think some of us feel like the gameplay has gone towards the arcade sort of level, and some of us believe it should be a bit more true to life. But that's what this gameplay tutorial is for. So from that side of things, you've got the EBX settings, which we can edit through FIFA Editor tool or My Tool. You've got the AI state machine, which we can only access slightly from the Locale.ini, and you got the Locale.ini as well. So essentially, your EBX settings here, this one, that will handle everything from how quick a ball moves, how long it takes for a pass, a short pass or a ground pass to get from one place to another, how quick your player moves when with the ball and without the ball, how accurate shots are, how accurate passes are, how many yellow cards are given for different types of fouls. It's not great, just saying. And it's little things like position of players when in attack or defense. So there's a lot there, and we didn't have any of this until FIFA 20. And your AI state machine, essentially, this is like a bunch of decisions an AI character can make when on the ball and off the ball. There's also a couple of them that decide the game plan the AI choose, and it's not particularly brilliant and extensive as you might like. So there's a couple of options there. You can do anything from stopping the AI from passing the ball entirely, to making the AI kick the ball up. There's a very funny setting called Take Piss, no joke. It literally, so as soon as the ball gets passed back from the kickoff, the first player gets the ball, starts doing kicky uppies, and just continually does it over and over and over. So that's the kind of stuff you can do with the state machine. I wish we could do more. I wish we could control it more from EBX, but we can't, and I will explain that in a further tutorial. And then all of that is what you see on your screen. So, what would you like to do? What would we like to do at the end of this tutorial series? Almost everything. So I'd like to explain as much as I can in various tutorials. I think I'm going to make this into shorter tutorials from now on. This is like a nice little overview of what you can do. For example, in here, you can go and see all your EBX settings I was referring to earlier are these settings here. So all of these different folders, and these folders have got lots of different changes you can make. And then you sort of like, you've got folders, and then you've got files, if you want to call it that. And then imagine the file is full of settings. Again, I will go over this in a per tutorial basis. I hope this explains how it'll work and how much you can edit, and then hopefully next tutorial we can do something fun. Thanks for watching.